time for your daily crypto update with Framework Fortune Crypto. I'm your host, Ben. Now let's dive in. So Bitcoin getting rejected at this 48,000 level. It was support back through here, so it is holding up as resistance. That was confirmed by this second test today, getting rejected. Now we are still looking good at the moment as we are above the 10-day moving average. And you can see it's currently trying to hold up this 46.3 area where that held up as resistance 4 days ago, right through there. So it almost even looks close to the same pattern, except for one difference. Right here, this candle and this candle in the middle, these red candles, are opposite each other. So there was selling pressure on that candle and buyers just held it there. The selling pressure here pushed it all the way down to the 10-day, but buyers pushed it all the way back up. So if we can hold this 46.3 area, we're probably going to see Bitcoin break 48 in the next day or so. Now, there is a lot going on in the media headlines right now, especially with the whole Afghanistan thing. So that could affect the markets. Will it affect crypto markets? It doesn't seem to be right now. The crazier things get with governments and their economies, as it seems to be happening, adds fuel to the argument that decentralized currencies are going to be one of the best routes moving forward. So, to me, all the chaos, everything happening in the news headlines, all of that, I think only strengthens the case for having cryptocurrencies transacting in them. But it's not up to me. It's not up to my thoughts of what the price is going to do. This is a global asset where millions and millions of people are trading them. So whether people in the market will react that way or not, I don't know. But long term, it just makes me more confident in owning some cryptos. So currently, Ether is still looking very bullish, still riding straight up the 10-day moving average. I mean, this has been a beast of a move with very little pullbacks. You can see all the green days Ethereum has had. And we did break over 32 and now holding 3,200 as a little bit of support. You can see right there. So we're testing that old resistance right here as new support. If that holds up, then we'll probably see Ethereum up to 3,500. If that doesn't hold up and we crack, I think 3,000 is a good pullback spot. And then right there, we'll see if that holds up or not. Because if it doesn't hold 3,000, it's got all the way back down to the 50-day moving average that it could drop, which would be quite a drop. So just be cognizant of that. So nothing's really changed with my thoughts today. I'm still looking for Ethereum to 3,500 and Bitcoin to 50,000 here in the next week or so, as long as we keep the momentum we're keeping. Today's top gainer, and boy does it feel nice, Terra Luna. I've been talking about this one the last couple of weeks, just making a very nice explosion up to that 25 area, getting held up at 25, but Terra Luna just hit its all-time highs at that 25. Very bullish move. So I do expect a little bit of a pullback, but you can see it's already kind of having today, down to 23. But that is a solid sign of strength on Luna, and the EMAs are lined up the way they're supposed to be. So I'm expecting Luna to keep going now that we've hit an all-time high. So there's going to be some more research I'm going to do on it, but looking very, very solid, better than some of the other cryptos. CLV popping up. I was talking about this in that triangle, trying to hold that $1.50. Broke out of that triangle, pushed all the way up to 186. So CLV looks like it may try to make another move now that it's broken over the bodies of these candles. I would say re-breaking 175, we could see it up to test 2. And maybe in the next couple of days, if everything continues to be hot, we could see CLV break over 2 for another run to 3. So that's one to keep on watch, as it is pretty low circulating supply and is getting a nice build-up. You actually even have a trend line started right here. So you can literally just play this trend line on CLV at this point. As long as it holds up, it'll keep climbing. Polkadot. We got back in this previous channel, and now we're at the top of this channel testing. So we might have a little pullback before Polkadot tries to break that 25-ish to 26 area. But it does look like it's going to try to break it soon. 10-day just crossed over the 200. We still have a little ways for the 50-day to cross over to get where it needs to be. So Polkadot not quite bullish yet on the daily chart, but showing some bullish action. If we don't break this 25 area, we'll come back down to the bottom of this channel at 20 and probably start another consolidation movement like that. So we don't want to stay in this channel very long. We want to break out of it here very soon in the next couple of days. So Cardano had a very nice strong breakout, beautiful break of that build up that was going on there, running all the way up to 230 right at the tops of the bodies of these previous highs. So we know 230 is going to be some pretty strong resistance since that's where we got stopped at. But we are building a bit of a triangle here in the short term. Big wicks on both sides of these candles. A lot of indecision right here whether Cardano is going to keep ripping or not. And we are ways off of the 10-day. The 10-day is back here at 190. And now this 190 will hold as some type of support. $2 should also try to hold as some type of support at this point. But we break out of the triangle. We're going to break over 230 and keep running. If we break to the downside of the triangle, we'll probably just hit 190. Still holding my CGLD swing. And we are so close. You can see as I'm finishing these lines, we are still in the triangle, but just barely. And it's pushed up a couple of times over that triangle and that 200-day moving average, which is right there at the top of the triangle as well. So if this does not break out in the next couple of days, if CGLD doesn't have a push up to like 350, then it's probably going to have a pullback because it is bearish still on the daily chart compared to a lot of the other cryptos. I mean, we're testing that 200-day moving average right now as I'm recording this. More than likely, I think we'll see CGLD break out tonight. Worst case in the morning. I'm also still holding my farm swing. It has pulled back quite a bit, but holding up that 250 area where I was talking about. It looks like it's slowed down with the selling right there. It just needs to re-break this downtrend right here out of this little triangle and have another big run up. It seems to be what it likes to do. Big run up and then the pullback like I was talking about yesterday. And then big run up, pullback, big run up, pullback. So we're about due for the next big run up, which this one could be all the way up to 375, maybe 400 if everything stays hot. Polygon MATIC holding above that 145 area is decent support so far. Did get a push up here today up to 156. We need to see that buying volume continue to come in and see this push up to that 175 area right through there. If we get a push that 175 area, Polygon will look a lot better to me. Fully bullish though. 200 days down here, 50s here, and the 10 days where it's supposed to be. So I'd say we'll break that $1.50 pretty easy, as bullish as we are, and still pretty close to the trend line actually. SHIB breaking out of that triangle, pushing up, almost back to the original uptrend. If it can get back on that uptrend and start climbing, SHIB could continue to push up, maybe have a nice explosion like it's had in the past. I've been seeing a lot of ads lately for SHIB, SHIB Strong, SHIB Army, all of that. So you can definitely see where buying is picked back up. Whether this will continue, I don't know. The supply of this is so insane, 400 trillion, but it's so cheap. You know, is it still too cheap for the market cap? Maybe. But what does the SHIB project actually do? And I've not really seen much out of that other than their goal is to save Shiba dogs. Same things like Dogecoin where there's hype behind it. That's what's happening with Shiba. That's what happens with a lot of these small coin projects, but they remind me of junior miners in the stock market. The junior miners being startup gold and silver companies that are trying to get their mines going. And a lot of times they just fall flat on their face. Is this movement, is this growth in this project, or is this just hype coming in because all the cryptos are running? That's the question you want to ask yourself and find out through your research. So scales pushing up, testing the top of the channel here. Tested it twice. That 40 cent level. It's going to have to break 40 cents soon if it's going to move up to the next level of 50 cents. It is on this nice uptrend. So as long as it stays on that uptrend, you can just ride it up the uptrend. If it cracks the uptrend, though, it could drop back down that 20 cent area. THETA is getting held up right here at the 760-ish area, it looks like. Yeah, but it does have an uptrend like some of the other ones. We're getting close to the tip of this triangle for a possible breakout. 50-day did just cross the 200, so that's a bullish indicator there. Does look like it may try to break to the upside out of this triangle, and then it would probably test $10. If it breaks this area, this $8 area, yeah, I think we'll see it up to 10, and then there it might get slowed down some with that resistance. So Balancer's one that I've been talking about. You can see on the daily where it's gotten rejected at the 200-day moving average around 30.50. It is trying to hold up that previous resistance at 28. If it can break through that 30.50, then we could see Balancer move up quite a bit. Probably this 44 area, because there's not a lot of resistance. At 34, 35 will probably be some resistance. Break at 35, we could easily see 45. There's just not a lot of resistance right through there. Not a lot of congestion. So I think it's possible. I think we could see Balancer up to 45. Very low supply coin. So Doge getting rejected at that 35-cent area like I was talking about. Small pullback so far on it. If it can continue to hold up that area and try to test this again, it might be able to break. Decent buy environment been coming in the Doge. So that's all the coins I'm going to cover for today. The market's looking pretty hot still. We have a lot of possible breakouts, a lot of room to run on some of these cryptos. The straight up movements that we've been making, like on Ethereum, that's where my concerns are coming in at. We're getting overextended, it feels like. Because back here, even when the big run happened, we didn't have any moves that was straight up like this except for right here in the final push of this big run. As we've been kind of getting held up here this past week in these areas, if these areas don't break, we're going to have a pullback. But even when we do break through these areas, we still have the 3,500 and that 50,000 on Bitcoin right ahead, so we're going to have to see them break those. And that's my concern. We're running through one resistance ceiling that we're struggling with now into another strong resistance ceiling. We'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, everything looks good for now, but we know how fast the crypto market can change. If there's a coin or token that I'm not currently covering that you'd like me to cover on a weekly basis, leave it in the comments below and let me know your thoughts on the overall crypto market. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.